If you think eating low-carb just means cutting out bread and rice, you're already 10 steps behind. Seniors over 60 are being misled by so-called healthy foods that actually raise blood sugar and trigger insulin resistance. The truth? 98% of people get this completely wrong. Today, I'll reveal the 10 best foods with zero carbs and zero sugar that actually support energy, memory, metabolism, and most importantly healthy aging. And no, you won't find these on your hospital meal plan. Most seniors trying to eat low-carb or sugar-free often fail not because of lack of discipline, but because of confusion around what low-carb actually means. The assumption that all carbs are bad leads many to avoid vegetables, fruits, and even essential fibers. Meanwhile, sugar-free foods on grocery shelves are often packed with artificial sweeteners that spike insulin even harder than sugar. The real problem is that the standard advice doesn't distinguish between insulin-triggering foods and true metabolic-friendly options. Insulin resistance is rampant among people over 60. The pancreas works harder, cells become less responsive, and blood sugar fluctuates even from supposedly healthy foods like oatmeal, bananas, or low-fat yogurt. These foods, though low in fat, are extremely high in glycemic load and wreak havoc on already fatigued metabolisms. That's why the first step isn't cutting calories or counting macros, it's understanding insulin response, not just carb content. The solution lies in choosing zero insulin response foods, those that provide essential nutrients without spiking blood sugar. Surprisingly, most seniors miss these completely. Take eggs, for instance. Whole eggs are low-carb, rich in choline, B12, lutein, and healthy fats, and they do not raise insulin in healthy individuals. Yet many older adults still fear eggs due to outdated cholesterol myths, even though we now understand that dietary cholesterol has minimal impact on blood cholesterol for most people. Next on the list, avocados. Often ignored by older adults due to cost or unfamiliarity, avocados are nutrient-dense, high in potassium and magnesium, and provide healthy monounsaturated fats that help improve insulin sensitivity. They contain virtually no sugar, minimal net carbs, and offer deep satiety that prevents overeating, especially important for those with slowed metabolism. Another misunderstood superfood is salmon, especially wild-caught. It's a powerful anti-inflammatory protein with omega-3s that repair vascular damage caused by years of elevated blood sugar. Eating salmon even once a week can improve brain function, reduce triglycerides, and stabilize energy without raising insulin at all. Seniors trying to avoid fatty fish often swap for carb-heavy alternatives like breaded tilapia or canned tuna in sweetened sauces, which reverses the intended benefit. Then we have leafy greens, especially arugula, spinach, and dandelion greens. Many seniors avoid greens due to chewing difficulty or taste, not realizing that blending them or lightly steaming with olive oil enhances nutrient absorption. These vegetables are loaded with folate, calcium, magnesium, and potassium, all vital for blood pressure control and nerve health, yet they have near zero net carbs and zero sugar. The real tragedy is that seniors are often given a diabetic meal plan filled with whole wheat bread, brown rice, and low-fat milk, none of which are actually low-carb or sugar-free. The foods that work for a young person's metabolism may be toxic to someone over 60 with years of insulin stress. Eating for longevity after 60 requires precision, not guesswork. And the biggest mistake isn't eating too much sugar, it's trusting the wrong foods disguised as healthy. Knowing the right list can radically transform energy, weight, and clarity within weeks. One of the most overlooked no-carb superfoods for seniors is bone broth, rich in collagen, glycine, and minerals that rebuild gut lining, joint tissue, and skin elasticity. Unlike high-carb soups or processed broths with added starches, a slow-simmered bone broth from grass-fed beef or organic chicken contains zero sugar, nearly zero carbs, and supports fasting, digestion, and brain clarity. Seniors who replace sugary snacks or high-carb crackers with a warm cup of bone broth often report fewer cravings and deeper sleep within days. Let's talk about olives, often dismissed as just salty snacks. But olives are a powerhouse of polyphenols and healthy fats that support heart health, reduce oxidative stress, and stabilize insulin. With less than 1 gram of net carbs per serving, they're one of the most satisfying no-carb additions to a senior's meal plan. Plus, their richness helps regulate appetite, which is essential for anyone struggling with weight gain or blood sugar crashes. Then there's sardines in olive oil, often seen as old-fashioned, but actually a longevity treasure. Sardines contain 0 carbs, high protein, omega-3s, calcium, from edible bones, and vitamin D. For seniors with osteoporosis, memory decline, or fatigue, this tiny fish delivers a powerful combination of nutrients that stabilize blood sugar without spiking insulin. The key is to choose sardines in water or olive oil, not in tomato sauce, which often contains hidden sugar. Another unsung hero is cauliflower, but not as a bland side dish. When roasted with avocado oil or made into mash with garlic and herbs, it becomes a satisfying, fiber-rich base to replace mashed potatoes or rice. It's also one of the few vegetables that supports phase 2 liver detox, crucial for seniors who've taken medications for decades. It contains no sugar, barely 2 grams of net carbs per serving, and helps regulate estrogen and cholesterol metabolism. We cannot ignore coconut oil, especially extra virgin. While many older adults still fear saturated fat, current research shows that medium-chain triglycerides, MCTs, in coconut oil bypass the liver and are used directly by the brain for fuel. Seniors with brain fog, low energy, or pre-diabetic symptoms benefit immensely from just 1 tablespoon a day. It stabilizes insulin, promotes ketone production, and enhances mental clarity without raising blood sugar, unlike so-called healthy fruit smoothies or energy bars. Another must-have for the no-sugar, no-carb list is fermented vegetables, especially sauerkraut and kimchi. While store-bought versions can be packed with sugar, traditionally fermented options, without added sugar, contain virtually 0 carbs and provide probiotics that improve digestion, reduce inflammation, and support serotonin production. Many seniors suffer from bloating, irregular bowel movements, or weak immunity. Fermented foods help restore gut balance without the need for supplements or pills. Let's not forget mushrooms, particularly shiitake, maitake, and reishi. They're not only low-carb and sugar-free, but they also contain unique compounds that modulate immune response, improve liver function, and protect against oxidative stress. For seniors, these benefits are critical. Incorporating mushrooms into broths, sautés, or even as tea provides cellular-level nourishment with almost 0 glycemic impact. What's interesting is that many seniors are still told to snack on fruit when blood sugar drops. But most fruits, especially bananas, grapes, or even apples, are packed with fructose, something that spikes liver stress and triglycerides, even if blood glucose appears stable. Seniors with fatty liver, prediabetes, or cognitive decline should replace sweet fruits with low glycemic options like berries, in small portions, and only with fat or protein to buffer absorption. Lastly, herbal teas like cinnamon, ginger, or licorice root offer metabolic benefits with no carbs or sugar. Unlike fruit juices or milky teas, these herbal infusions soothe digestion, reduce sugar cravings, and support adrenal health, particularly useful for seniors waking up at night or feeling sluggish in the afternoon. Eating low carb and no sugar after 60 isn't about deprivation, it's about precision. It's learning to feed the body without feeding insulin, to choose real foods that heal instead of hijack the metabolism. Seniors who master this not only lose belly fat, they regain mental sharpness, joint mobility, and emotional balance. The key is not to follow trends, but to understand the physiology behind aging and nourish it accordingly. The final group of foods that most seniors miss yet offer extraordinary health benefits without carbs or sugar are those that target the brain, mitochondria, and inflammation at the same time. One of the most powerful among them is organ meats, especially beef liver. Despite decades of fear around cholesterol and saturated fat, beef liver is a nutritional goldmine. It contains 0 carbs, but is loaded with B vitamins, heme iron, copper, retinol, real vitamin A, and CoQ10. These nutrients support everything from energy metabolism to vision, red blood cell production, and even hormonal balance. For seniors feeling tired, mentally foggy, or cold all the time, incorporating a small portion once or twice a week can be transformative. Closely related is grass-fed butter or ghee. Most people over 60 have spent years avoiding butter, fearing heart disease. But newer research and clinical experience shows that clean saturated fats like grass-fed butter are not the enemy. They help build hormones, support the brain, and enhance absorption of fat-soluble vitamins like A, D, E, and K2. More importantly, butter has zero carbs, zero sugar, and promotes satiety, which naturally reduces snacking and cravings. Adding a tablespoon to steamed veggies or tea is a practical way to nourish without triggering insulin. Another misunderstood no-carb food is chia seeds, especially when soaked overnight. While technically containing some carbs, they're almost entirely fiber-based, which means they have no net carbs. More importantly, they help stabilize blood sugar, support bowel regularity, and feed the gut microbiome without any glucose spike. Seniors who suffer from constipation, bloating, or sugar cravings benefit from the gentle balance chia provides, especially when combined with coconut milk or cinnamon for flavor and anti-inflammatory synergy. Let's also talk about seaweed. Sea vegetables like nori, kelp, and dulse are extremely low in carbs, rich in iodine, selenium, and trace minerals, nutrients that support thyroid health, metabolism, and detoxification. Many older adults have underactive thyroid without realizing it, leading to fatigue, dry skin, thinning hair, and cold sensitivity. By simply adding a few strips of roasted seaweed or a sprinkle of kelp flakes to meals, seniors can support their thyroid naturally without medication or carbs. In terms of drinks, apple cider vinegar, ACV, when used correctly, is another metabolic powerhouse. A tablespoon diluted in water before meals helps lower post-meal glucose spikes, improve digestion, and reduce insulin resistance. It has no sugar or carbs, and supports stomach acid production often deficient in older adults. ACV may also help break down protein and minerals more efficiently, aiding nutrient absorption. For those struggling with heartburn or bloating, ACV, in moderation and diluted, can be a gentle daily tool. Now, let's address what not to eat because many seniors trying to go low-carb fall into trap foods, protein bars labeled keto, sugar-free cookies, or fake breads made with starches and gums. These products often contain hidden sugars, sugar alcohols, or artificial fibers that still raise insulin or disrupt gut health. They trick the tongue, spike cravings, and mislead the brain. True low-carb, no-sugar eating relies on real, whole foods, not manufactured substitutes. At this stage of life, simplicity is power. A meal of eggs cooked in butter, a side of leafy greens, and a few olives provides more nutrition than any processed diet plan. Seniors who return to these whole food principles often find that their medications reduce, their energy increases, and their memory sharpens without counting calories or suffering through bland meals. Finally, there's the mindset. Many older adults approach eating with fear of fat, fear of cholesterol, fear of doing it wrong. But the truth is, when you eat foods that are biologically aligned with your metabolism, zero sugar, zero insulin load, rich in nutrients, your body remembers how to heal. You don't need perfection. You need consistency, clarity, and trust in how the human body works, especially as it ages. No carb, no sugar eating isn't about restriction, it's about freedom from blood sugar swings, from inflammation, from fatigue. And for seniors who commit to these foods, the reward isn't just weight loss, it's the return of vitality, sharp thinking, and independence.